I will try very hard to slow down so I don't talk too fast, so hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. So thank you to the organisers for the opportunity to come out to Greece to speak to you. So it's really interesting, I'm on this panel to talk about the circular economy when fellow panellists are from sort of islands and regions of Greece, because the circular economy is often framed as a kind of meta trend. In fact, I was thinking when Darren was speaking earlier, maybe that was his fifth one that he could have probably alluded to, the whole issue around resource sufficiency and the fact that, yes, climate change is hugely important, but behind all of that, our linear economy, which is basically make, take and dispose very quickly in a lot of senses, is really actually causing well over 50% of our climate emissions, 90% of our biodiversity loss and water stress, and a huge range of pollution activity around the world, but also contributing significantly to the global inequalities that we all face. So actually thinking about resources is just as important, if not perhaps even more important, as we go forward, thinking about that world that we all want to see into the future. So yes, going to a circular economy is going to certainly help, but it's also an economic opportunity, and I think that's what's really missed sometimes when we talk about resources. We've already heard about issues around security of supply in terms of the energy sector, talked about competitiveness, resilience, security. All of those things are as much part and parcel of us thinking about our resource supply as much as our energy supply. In fact, I think I'm picking up probably a little bit from the translation around energy. We know that we're building out massive deployment of offshore wind and onshore wind in Scotland, as many of you will know, but that is taking up a huge amount of resources, potentially critical raw materials, some of those raw materials that are in scarce supply within global supply chains and coming from other parts of the world where the sustainability of the political sustainability is in question. So there's a real challenge there for us. Yes, we need to do it, but how do we make sure that we're not causing further damage both to inequalities, social dimension of the global communities as well as the environment when we're doing it? And that's something that the circular economy can really help with. How do we bridge? We're currently decommissioning a hell of a lot of oil and gas infrastructure in Scotland. How can we redeploy that material, those assets, back into the infrastructure that we need for the future? So that's just an example. But I do think, and I'm very interested in obviously what colleagues in the panel are going to talk about, and I was taken by the title of the event, because what the circular economy for us in Scotland, and we've been really going at this for the last 5 or 6 years and really showing the art of the possible in terms of working with businesses on the ground to become more circular. Over 300 businesses have invested in over 40 or 50 of them as well. But actually what we've really seen the success is through a place-based approach. So working directly with our cities and our regions, but also our island communities in Scotland to really understand how we can drive it almost from the bottom up. So yes, there's a big concept around the circular economy, but actually how those municipalities at those levels can actually create the right conditions to support those businesses that really want to take forward much more resource-efficient enterprise. And I think they have a key role to play. I always have that analogy that if you think about the big economy, it's quite often too daunting a proposition, but it's that proverb around eating the elephant one bite at a time. If you could break this down into local economies, start to think about how bespoke solutions in those places could really affect, we could build up the real opportunities. And it is about how they collaborate. So I think the challenge is all of us, whether you're in a business, whether you're a mayor, whether you're working in a city, the old adage was always, you need to sort out your own, get your own house in order before you start to go out and start to talk to other people about what you're doing in terms of sustainability. We need to do that. Of course we need to do that. But the real challenge in terms of the time frame we're operating in, we need to do that and collaborate at the same time and work together and build that market opportunities for some of the green technologies, the circular economy ambitions that we have across supply chains. We need to do this, and we need to do that now. So that's the challenge, I think, of the future, is how do we do it in our own patch, but how do we use that consensus and that approach to collaborate and build so we're much more the sum of our parts.
Iain, thank you. Perfect timing as well. 0-0. Excellent.